committee members went back and found Kwesi Bonsu's lifeless body. It was then that they decided to protest Kwesi Bonsu. So this morning, the deceased, I'm talking about the assembly member, Abwagwa assembly member, Samuel Dankwa, led a protest march to Asanko Mines to protest the death of Kwesi Bonsu. We understand when they got to Asanko Mines, there were gunshots, and one of the bullets hit Samuel Dankwa, who happens to be the assembly member for Abuabo electoral area, of course, losing his life. And as I speak to you now, there has been some confusion, as I said earlier. It's a mass protest in the Mpatuam community.
But what can you tell us about civil protection? Do we have the police there trying to at least try and douse down the concerns of and the kind of tension that we are reporting? So
there's a mass protest. I mean, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is involved. The police presence is not that heavy. I can say that some way, somehow, they have been overwhelmed. Even though there hasn't been violence, I wouldn't describe the situation currently as a violent protest. But, I mean, people are shouting, screaming on top of their voices just to show their displeasure about the current development.
And we also do know that this is not the first time Asanko Mine and the residents in and around the area have had this kind of confrontation. What exactly triggered this particular one? Is it the same old issue of the youth in the area trying to go onto the concession to try and mine on their own and met some resistance that triggered it?
Absolutely. I mean, it is the same old, I would want to call it, protracted issue. Because Tontukrom is also facing similar situation. Last Saturday we reported. They were fortunate because when the military came in, there was a call from the Regional Security Council that they should go back to the barracks. In fact, there has been order that no miner should engage the military. I don't know what position the Regional Security Council is going to take because it just coming very 3 days after a similar situation was recorded, of course, reported from Tontukrom. Like I said, fortunately, there wasn't any casualty, even though last year around March, 3 people had died under similar circumstances. And then Saturday, Tontukrom was different, but only to wake up this morning to hear another death. Of course, one happened yesterday, Kwesi Bonsu, and then another one happening today.
William, thank you so much. Do keep an eye on this development for us, and certainly we'll be coming back to you for more update. William Evansinkum is our Ashanti Regional Bureau Chief, updating us on the unfortunate story of the assemblyman of Mpatuam, who earlier today was shot dead following some violent confrontation between the youth in the area, specifically around the Asanko Mine area, and also some security personnel who have been deployed to protect the Asanko Mine. So again, like he indicated, this is not the first time that this kind of confrontation has happened, and it looks as though security services or the Regional Security Council is unable to stem the tide of this unfortunate annual conversation we keep having about how a mining concession can actually live vis-a-vis the fact that the youth in the area also say they want to go onto the grounds to mine. Some of them are actually watching this conversation we are having here on 3FM 92.7 on our Facebook page, and also streaming it on YouTube. So if you are in and around the area, just log on to Facebook, look for 3FM, and you can be part of the conversation. Do send us your thoughts and your messages there as well. On Facebook and YouTube, we are streaming live. Let's go and speak to a security consultant, Richard Kumado, who, again and again, we have been having this conversation with him regarding what exactly is the best approach to dealing with this yearly canker, as it has become. Mr. Kumado, good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm sure that you wouldn't be surprised that we are back to the same conversation. We had this conversation last year. We're back to it. And now, again, someone has died as a result of this confrontation. How does this come to you?
I wasn't surprised at all. You remember when the Ashanti Good incident happened, our brother Felix gave a directive from government, and the directive contains about 3 lines. 1, they should bury the dead. Number 2, they should cater for the injured in terms of medicine or their hospital bills. And number 3, the military who engage in the shooting out should be dealt with. Up to today, we haven't seen the report, and we don't know what has become of that particular investigation. But you remember when we spoke during that time, I made a point that to the extent that you keep on using military for corporate security exercises, these are some of the results you get. And you don't need a soothsayer prophet to tell you that once it's a legitimate own concession, and you have law enforcement officers, military in particular, as the key security officers for this concession, who have been tasked to maintain law and order and to ensure that the concession is not breached. Any personality and anything they see that looks like a breach or in contravention of the standard order, they will take action. And one of the action is to shoot and kill. So that is what we are marching. We are back to square one, and we need to look at it again. There again, it's important I make this point. Just recently when the task force of the IGP, the police, has been accused by a man who has been tasked by Yoko to investigate, that the special task force set up by the IGP is compromising themselves, and they need to be removed. The regional minister of the Ashanti region gave an order that they have the capacity to deal with, regional task force when it comes to mining. Here we are. Somebody has been shot dead. We will want to test their capacity and their agility in dealing with such issues. So it's early days yet, but then we are back to square one. We will want leadership to do what they do best, so that we move forward.
Right, and talking about leadership having to do what they do best, what is the best approach? Again, I'm asking this on the back of the fact that, like you indicated, we have proposed suggestions and spoken about this particular issue for years on end, and it looks as though the number of persons who have been attacked or unfortunately lost their lives keeps increasing. Today we are told 1. In previous years it actually was more than 1. How can the regional security, what would you advise the immediate steps of the Regional Security Council to be?
Now, I think they are not collaborating their efforts properly. And once you are not collaborating your efforts properly, you cannot solidify your ground. And once the ground has become fragile, vulnerabilities will be exploited. And today is one of them. You know why it happens so? These are soldiers who have been trained. And you take them out of their training environment and put them in an environment which contravenes their security psychology. They will act in a manner that makes them feel they are soldiers. You just remember that some soldiers went into a community, the youth there misbehaved towards the soldiers, and the soldiers were called to barrack. So what happened to the soldiers when they were going? The regional security didn't see. They didn't know the soldiers were going into the area. And who sent the soldiers into the area in the first place? We are creating too many contradictions, and we are creating an environment that do not support a professional collaboration and coordination of the effort into this particular subject matter. If the Regional Security Council can solidify their ground, then they will need to coordinate the efforts of the frontline law enforcement officers, particularly soldiers acting as security guards for some of these mining companies, and soldiers who go to the field when they have been called to manage emergency situations. If they don't, then it will keep on flipping out, and when it flip out, there will be a number of vulnerabilities and there will be a number of casualties.
Richard Kumado, thank you so much for your time this evening. He is a security consultant and just sharing his perspectives on the unfortunate death of one person in Patuem, which is the assemblyman actually in the Ashanti region, where the confrontation between the youth in and around the Asanko gold mine had a confrontation with the military or the security that had been deployed to the area to protect the land. And this again has been happening over time. Again, today, one life has been lost. So we'll see what the coming days hold for us regarding this particular issue. If you go to our Facebook page, you get to see the videos of how the confrontation erupted and the burning of vehicles and property, some belonging to private citizens, and then also the company's property, fleet of vehicles have also been set ablaze. So it's quite a tense moment in and around that Asanko mine, and I would update you subsequently. This is still 3FM 92.7. Let's go on to some other stories now.
Let's now take you to court, because an Accra High Court has ordered